another wonderful video. So I'm going to go over Zbrush, which is offering Pixelogic is offering a 30-day free trial, which is just long enough for you guys to work on your project for the class. So when you get it opened up, you're going to see this for the first time. Each time you're going to see this continue to trial. You can click that and get rid of it. And then it's already got a newer version, so it's going to hit OK. And then it opens up this to ask you to buy Zbrush. So we can close that. Here we are. So when it opens up, it's going to have this drop-down menu in what we're going to call the canvas area, this middle area, and that's called the light box. So if we click on this light box button, it goes away. If I click on it again, it comes back. What I want you to do for your project and learning it for sculpting, for our simple things, ignore all the fancy stuff. And I want you to work with the digital clay as if it were you were working with real clay. So don't just grab this and say, hey, look what I know. Anyway, so I'm going to click on this one up here. It should be the 128 one. So I'm going to double click on it. It's going to open up, and now you got a ball of clay to work with. Some quick things about saving. There is quick save up here you can click on. There is file, save as. But then more importantly for us, because we're going to, in 30 days, this will run out, there's export. So if you just have a bunch of Zbrush files on your desktop and in 30 days you got to open them up, you won't have the program anymore. So if you export as an OBJ, it's going to spin. Shouldn't have clicked on it. You export as an OBJ. You can select, kind of automatically goes there, but it's got some other formats. But if OBJ works pretty well. Save that so then you can work on it in other programs. All right, so first off, let's talk a little bit about navigation. And to do that, I'm going to make a mark on this thing so we can see stuff happening. Right now we got this, what's called our brushes. Some programs call them different stuff, but brushes in this one. And it's going to take that brush and make a little mark on there. All right, so to rotate around the object, you can just right-click and move your mouse. To zoom, you're going to control on the outs away from the in the space. You're going to Control or Command and kind of move your cursor and go back and forth. And then to pan, which I've been saying now for a while, you're going to hit the Alt Option button, and you can kind of move your cursor around and do that. Now you can also do all of those movements right here. So if I click on Move, and I do that over here, or if I click on Zoom, I can do it right there. If I click on Rotate, I can do there. So this is just another way to do things. If you were to get him way over there, you can hit this Frame button, and it brings right to dead center. You should work with the F button as well. Yeah, if you just use the key, click your F key, it should work. Move back a little bit, it's starting to scare me. Symmetry. Notice when I was doing that, my tool, which is the red circle on the one side, and then there's the dot on the other. That means I have symmetry on. I can go up to Transform and slide down and deactivate symmetry. You can also use those other axes, but let's not go there. So I can click it off, so now it's no longer on, and I can do this. You can also deactivate and activate symmetry by hitting the X button. So now notice it came back, goes away. All right. Also, the undo on a Mac is Command Z, or on a PC it's Control Z, I think. Yeah. So, and then redo, if you've got the fingers for it, to stretch out, is the Command Shift Z. So, or Control Z on a PC. Or you can just go up to here if you don't like the keyboard and undo. Go back to that. Mark. Okay, symmetry. Oh, brushes. Since I'm playing with this, I can draw all over it. This is the standard brush, and some things that you can modify on the brushes. Just stick with that one for the moment. is the size, draw size. So I can come up here to this slider and make that bigger. And you'll notice it's doing something completely different. So that really changes what's happening than if you're like this, or if you go way small. Okay, so one brush can do a lot of different stuff. And then also, just within that, if you hold down the Shift key while you're doing that, you can smooth. Much like you did, there's a couple other programs that also do that. So, smooth. Almost like an eraser sometimes. Focal length is a little, focal shift is a little weird. If you have it way up, you get a little dot in the middle, and it's much more focused than, say, it would be if it were like there. A lot. But if you have it all the way over, then you get this really heavy, harsh drop-off, fall-off edge to it. So let's just leave it about there. Also, you have the intensity. So if I just, at 25, I get, let's make that smaller, so I get that. And at Z intensity, at that I get, so that little change can help too. On brushes, you can go up and change ZAD, Z add or Z sub. So we've been in Z add. What happens when we select Z sub? It carves in, or it reverses the action of the tool. You can also activate that by holding the Option. So if I hit, where'd it go? Alt key. So come back up because I'm in. But say if I was just, normally we think of these things as adding, but if I just hold down the Alt key, I still get the same thing. So between that and Shift and the Shift smoothing, you can kind of do, just lifting up on the buttons with one tool. You can get you can do stuff pretty quickly, just by hitting the Alt button. Anyway, carve in and such. So add, reverse, smooth, intensity. Oh, you can also get to some of the controls by right-clicking when your tool is out here. I can right-click and I can play with that draw size, and that goes away. And you can probably rapidly go in and do all kinds of crazy stuff, but let's not get carried away. Anyhow, mess it all up. Let's turn the intensity down. So that's just with one tool. So a couple of other basic tools are clay. Like if we click on this again, we get all this stuff. So I want you to stick with clay. Clay buildup, clay buildup or clay works pretty well. It's a little bit kind of like the standard one. And again, it's going to change when you hit those sorts of buttons. Like you can smooth. You can push the Alt option button and go back in. So clay is a pretty good one, especially if you want to build up a lot of material. We can build up the intensity and build up draw size. You can really kind of, now you've got something that's really changing. You're building a shape. So then the other one, for some reason, where'd it go? The damn standard brush. I didn't name them, but I click on that, and I'm going to make this a little smaller. And now I can crease in, tone down the intensity a little bit. There we go. And again, when this one, it tends to kind of almost do what pinch does in some other programs. When you hit the Alt button, Option Alt button, and it reverses its action. But again, you can kind of change it up there as well. So that's the creasing, carving in. So depending on how much you change these, now you got something completely different going on. It's crushing the whole thing. So that was the damn standard brush.